soon as he heard my voice, he said my name, and I just started crying. I bust out crying because I'm like, after 15 years, like my dad still knew my voice, and that's a 10-year-old that he left behind. Welcome back to the Beauty and Brains TV. I'm your girl, sanakibz.
And I am Lauren Marie.
And we hope that you all enjoyed our last video where we talked about why women just love to compete against each other.
Right? Why the competition? Why? Especially
unnecessary.
Like why?
Exactly.
So, I hope you loved it.
So today we are going to talk to you guys about women growing up in a fatherless home.
We about to get real, y'all.
We about to get real, y'all.
Like, y'all ready?
Did you get any tissue? I mean, just in case.
We about to get real.
We about to get real. Because we really feel like there is a lot of misconceptions and myths and just BS about, daddy issue girls who come from a fatherless home. So we wanted to just break down how we feel about that and how has not having an active father in our life affected, who we are and our upbringing.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start. So, I guess it's a little bit different because my dad was around, but just not actively present in my home daily, right? And I think that not having that, I definitely know that not having him around, I had no direction just in terms of how do I respond to men, how do I not respond to men. What type of men do I date? What type of men do I not date? What to expect from men? I really feel as though that has affected me in more ways than I knew that it would growing up as a kid. Like, I used to feel like, you know what? Dad's not around, whatever. Got my mama, got my siblings, and I'm all good. But then the older that I got and the more in tune I got with my emotions and who I am as a woman, I really truly realized that having that male figure in your life is very important. I really truly feel like growing up without a dad, I have had to learn what love is, how to grow up in a society where that sternness, that you gotta get it no matter what, get up and go get things like that. That's tough love that your dad gives you. I don't really truly feel like I had that growing up, so I had to learn a lot of things on my own. So you say tough love. I actually was seeking more of a gentleness, right? Of like a gentle touch that I wish that I would have had. Just with, and one thing, like I said, my dad, wasn't present, but he was around. So he did, tell me he loved me and things like that, but just not physically having him there and seeing those actions, you know what I mean? And so when I did start to date, it was one of those things where I didn't know how to handle men. I didn't know how to talk to men. I didn't know, I was, like you said, I grew up with a single mom, and so, I was very stern, you know what I mean? And I was kind of like, listen, these niggas ain't about to get me, you know what I'm saying? So, I'ma love them and leave them. So, it was just one of those things where I just, and then when I actually end up getting into like a real relationship with a man that actually really did love me, that's when I truly real love. That's when I realized I was like, whoa, I really don't even know how to treat him. I don't know how to respond to him. I don't even know how to show him. Because, as we all know, there's a certain way, right? Because y'all men, you listen, if y'all watching, y'all a little sensitive, you know what I'm saying? And so there's a certain way that you have to handle a man as a woman. Right? And when you don't have, or you don't see that every day, you don't see your mom interacting with your dad every day, a lot of times you don't know how to do that, right? And that's where the stigma comes from, right? Where black girls have issues, you know what I mean? And this and this and that, because we ain't got no daddies around.
When it comes to not knowing how to treat a man or growing up without a father, I had to learn the hard way that, not everyone who smiles at you, cares for you, or not every guy who says he loves you actually means it. And I've grown up without a father and not seeing him for basically since I was 10 years old. I have come to realize that you have to unlearn a lot of things that you think that you know. My dad was not, and I'm going to be open and honest with you guys, and I know that this is on YouTube and it can go to many places, but I feel like my dad wasn't, even though he left when I was 10 years old, he still wasn't as that lovey-dovey, like daddy's little girl, like connection that usually, you know, girls have. I didn't have that with him. He had that with my sister, but I didn't have that with him. So like I grew up kind of not understanding like why my dad acted the way that he did, especially towards my mom. So when I went out into the world, like I thought that, first of all, what messed me up was fairy tales. All those Prince Charmings, perfect man, you're never gonna cry if you're the true man for you. All that stuff is BS. Like everyone loves differently. Everyone figure out what love is through their own relationships.
Right.
But your dad is supposed to at least teach you the ropes. You like, you know, if a man does this to you, if a man says this to you, like he doesn't really mean this. I learned all of that on my own. And the daddy issues thing. So people are quick to say that you have daddy issues, and I don't think that that's fair, because at the end of the day, everyone has their own circumstances that shape who they are, and I wouldn't say that we're doing bad for who we've become, but I do know that that lack of a father figure did affect me greatly.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that, you know, I had to make a conscious effort, right? Because, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it real. Like I had, you know, some resentment, you know, towards him, because, you know, he wasn't there as much as I wanted him to be. And, you know, it's one of those things where I had to make a conscious effort to, you know, to forgive him for a lot of the things that I felt like, you know, he was wrong for. But by doing that, I was able to, you know, me and my dad, we sat down and we had like a real heart to heart, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that was the beginning of my healing. Like how can you, you know, it's very difficult, you know, for you to move forward in a relationship with anyone, you know what I mean? When you have, especially considering my dad was my first love, right? So if he was my first love and he broke my heart, and me not mending that, how can I love another man, right? And so I had to really, you know, work on trying to mend that relationship, and by having a conversation with him and really kind of getting to know, you know, some things that my mama didn't necessarily tell me, you know what I'm saying? And some things that I didn't know because I was a child, right? And so, and getting to know him on a human level, and realizing, just like you said, that, you know, sometimes we have these expectations, you know, for our parents, but not realizing that they can only give us what they know as well, and they're human just like we are, right? And so it's one of those things, you know what I mean? And I feel like if you don't get to a point of forgiveness, it blocks you, right?
There's two things that I want to touch on that. The first thing is, in the beginning of my woke moment, that wait, I am a daddy issued, like labeled female, I kind of resented my mom.
Yeah.
And I blamed her for, like, maybe she didn't do enough, or maybe, you know, she could have tried harder, or whatever the case may be. And it wasn't until I got into my mid-20s that I realized that, you know, it wasn't my mom. It came from my dad. Whatever demons he was battling, or whatever issues he had, or whatever the things that he grew up on, or whatever, what he had to unlearn that he never did, it affected him. And my mother did what she could. Like, my mother is one of the strongest women I know.
Right.
And she did what she could to instill in us that we should try our best to do all that we can in this world. And when I finally had the courage to call my father and I called my father in 2016. Wow. After 15 years of not speaking to him at all. No communication, no emails, no Facebook, no nothing. I called him, so I found out his number, and as soon as he heard my voice, he said my name, and I just started crying. I bust out crying because I'm like, after 15 years, like my dad still knew my voice, and that's a 10-year-old that he left behind. So to hear my voice years later and still know that it's me, it really touched my spirit. And at that moment, I chose to forgive him. And I'm happy that I was able to do so.
And don't you feel like, do you feel like you would be as far as you are now? I mean, because you're in a happy relationship, right? So, like, would you be where you are now if you didn't forgive him?
I don't think that I would be as happy as I am now. And the reason why I know that is because of my past relationships.
Right.
it was just constant battle of authority. It was just constant like head to head. Whenever someone would talk to me like my father, I would get annoyed. I would get upset. Like, you're not my dad.
Yes.
But
stop trying to be my dad.
Stop trying to be my daddy. Although he's made the mistakes that he has made, I've never stopped being his daughter. And that was a great feeling. And I think that forgiveness has allowed me to be open and receptive to what real love is, and not condemn my boyfriend and my partner for the things that my father did.
Yeah, because definitely it's one of those things, you know, because I'm not lying, you know, I was upset, you know what I'm saying, about a lot of things, and didn't understand, had, you know, a lot of resentment, and, you know, it wasn't until I actually got into a relationship, and I decided to go to counseling, you know, and, you know, listen, okay, I know we all
major for Black people.
You know, counseling or whatever,
That's major.
When I tell you that, like, literally from those sessions, I was able to realize why I was responding to certain things. You know, in counseling, you know, they psychoanalyze everything, okay? But I needed it though, you know what I mean? Because there was a lot of things that I was subconsciously doing that I didn't even realize that I was doing. And, you know, and it's one of those things, like I said, I don't, you know, agree to everything that has happened, but because I was able to, you know, forgive him, and at the end of the day, he is my father, right? And, you know, when I think about the bigger picture of, you know, what if life is short, you know, what if he was gone tomorrow, right? And how would I feel, you know, if I never took the time to try to mend that, you know? How would I feel, you know, 10 years, 3 years later? You hear so many people who have, you know, just, you know, they're harboring all this stuff in because they never did actually forgive, right? They never tried to forgive. So I didn't want to be that person.
When you haven't forgiven someone, they have hold over you. They have power over you. So when you forgive someone, you're taking your power back. I had to understand that everyone's circumstance shapes who they are. And although I do not wish like this on anyone, I do know that being raised by a single mother instilled so much strength in me, so much like independence in me, so much just make sure you make the right decision. Your partner and who you choose has to be the right decision, because whoever you end up with in this lifetime, in this world, that person can literally make or break you for generations to come. Yeah. And yes, my father was in my life for 10 years, and yes, he instilled in me a lot of traditions and values and morals, but at the same time, I was a kid. You know, I was still a kid, like, I didn't right from wrong, whatever, but like, the teenage years, the 20s, like, those were the years that, like, when you really shape into the person that you're supposed to be for the rest of your life. And I only had one dimension, which was a mom who did her best, and she did a good job. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing what I got to do. But I also know that it would have been greater to have that male presence. So for men that are watching, it's very important to keep kids, no matter what's going on with the mother or whatever, you gotta keep the kids first. You have to, because it's going to change who they become.
Right. And you know, and shout out to all the single dads out there that are doing that. You know what I mean? But you know, I mean, even, you know, the other dads, like you said, that maybe, you know, there is a separation. I would just say, you know, calling is not enough. You know, you know, she is going to need more than that. You know, she needs attention, right? And even if it's, you are the first one that is showing her, like I said, you're her first love. So you're the first one that is leading her and giving her an example of how she should be treated by a man. So, you know, just take that into consideration, you know, with your actions, not just your words. And show her what that looks like. Show her what love looks like. You know, buy her flowers, buy her roses.
Tell her she's beautiful.
You know,
tell her she's beautiful.
All those things so that she can get it from you and not seek to get it from a man.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of women who grew up with no dad.
And especially black women. Let's just keep it 100.
Let's keep it funky.
You know, and you know, this might have to do with, you know, reasons on why the percentage of black women, you know, that are married is so low. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us haven't had examples. You know, so do we just sit there, you know what I mean? And do we, you know, fall into the statistics, or do we, you know, talk about these things and do some conscious, like, and some work, right? To actually like try to change those modes and change the you know, change the status quo. I guess it's good and bad, right? You never know, you know? So yeah, so as we continue this, right? Because listen, we could go all day about this.
We can deep dive into it, but we want to give you guys a little at a time when it comes to this topic.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
we will be bringing you a part 2 series to this fatherless home, and we want to ask you, the viewers, you know, can you relate? Do you have a parent that's not in the house, whether it's a mom or a dad? What has it done for your life? Has it affected you in any way? So please, you know,
have you dated anybody that has, and how has that affected them? You know, like to know that too, because I'd like to know the other side of what you guys think. So yeah, please like, comment, share in the comments, in the drop box, subscribe please, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.